What's going on, guys? Sharif here, natural bodybuilder, and in this video I'm talking about a subject that is super important: how to overcome plateaus as a natural bodybuilder. If you're a natural athlete, you know that progress doesn't come as fast, especially after the beginner years. You've been training for years, a decade. Well, you don't see the progress as fast anymore, and you feel like you're plateauing. And I get the messages, well, I reached my plateau, should I hop on PEDs? Hold on, all right, hold on. You might think that you've reached a plateau and you're not progressing anymore and your body reached the natural limits, but trust me, 99.9% of you guys, there is still a lot more room to grow. Okay, so listen to this video. I'll tell you exactly what might be causing that plateau, and you can tell me in the comment the points that you need to work on the most. And trust me, sometimes just changing one little thing can make a whole difference. So let's get straight into it. Number one, your diet is not optimized. As a natural athlete, as a natural bodybuilder, you cannot afford to have an extra cookie, a little bit more mayo with your chicken, a little cheat meal extra a week. You cannot. All right, this is the reality of things. If you want to stay lean and keep your body fat percentage wherever you want it, all right, having an extra cheat meal or going out with your boys for a beer, an extra 2-3 beers a week will affect you. All right. It's the reality of things. It's sad. For me to stay in this shape, I really gotta make sure I'm on top of my diet. Everything is calculated, and I can't get away of my diet. All right. Sometimes I do want to have an extra cookie, but I know that I will feel it. All right. And when I'm saying feel it, that it will impact the results that I want. So you gotta make sure your diet is optimized. If you're natural and you feel like you reach your natural limit, but you're in a 20% body fat percentage, well, get lower. Make sure you're optimizing your diet. You're cleaning up your diet. Get lower and leaner, lower body fat, and you will see that, well, there's actually a lot more muscle, a lot more definition under all that fat, and you will feel a lot better and look a lot better. All right, I didn't know that I had that much muscle and that my muscle looked so good up until I went under 13% body fat. That's where I was like, whoa, veins, whoa, the muscle maturity, my body's looking so good. But those were things that I couldn't see when I was at 18 or 20% body fat, and I thought that I couldn't progress anymore. All right, so number one, optimize your diet. Super important, and lower your body fat percentage. If you're at 20% body fat and you're natural, well, yes, of course, you're not gonna be amazed looking in the mirror because you see a lot of fat covering your muscles. So drop that body fat, and also it will help you optimize your hormones, increase your testosterone level, and make sure that you're in an optimal state to build muscles and burn fat. Number two, your training intensity. So you gotta make sure that you're pushing yourself at the gym as well. You're natural, so you're not relying on any outside help to help you build muscles. Someone that is enhanced can barely go to the gym 2 or 3 times a week, eat McDonald's 2 to 3 times a week, and sleep 2 to 3 hours a day, but still see better results than you, who is natural, and you're killing yourself at the gym. So you gotta make sure that the intensity is hard, because all the factors that will help you grow are your training, your diet, and your recovery. If you're neglecting one of them, you will not progress. All right, after a little while, of course. If you're starting to work out, yes, you will see results with doing barely just touching the weight because of the beginner gains. But after you've been doing it for years and you've reached a pretty, because the body does this and then this, it reaches a kind of a very slow and steady line up. So once you reach that zone where you kind of past the beginner gains, well, you gotta make sure that you're not messing around at the gym, and you gotta give it your all, and you gotta keep the intensity high. All right, that means maybe incorporating. So how to keep intensity high? Another question. Well, you can either lower the rest periods, all right, you can increase the weight, you can you can add supersets, you can add drop sets, you can add giant sets. There's a lot of ways to keep the intensity high. So make sure that your trainings are intense enough. It doesn't mean that they have to be super long, all right, because this also will be counterproductive, but they have to be intense. So maybe you gotta push up a bit more rate, do more reps, do more weight. Maybe you gotta lower your rest period. Maybe you gotta do more drop sets. Maybe you gotta push to failure, all right? Maybe you gotta push it more at the gym. This is really up to you to know, but chances are your training is not as intense as it should be, and this is something that you can work on. All right, so number three, the training frequency. You gotta make sure that you're not only training 3 times a week. A lot of natural, they just train 3 to 4 times a week because they're scared of overtraining because they're natural. That is wrong, all right? As a natural, you gotta actually train more and you gotta train harder than someone that is enhanced because that's all you have to grow, all right? So yes, recovery is important and I'm gonna talk about it later, but also the training frequency is important. 3 times is just gonna help you maintain after a little while, all right? At least 5 times a week, I would say 5 to 6 times. 6 times would be pretty good if you can get 6 workouts in and 1 rest day. So keep the frequency high, super important. Number 4, maybe you're too focused on the weight. All right, so if you're a natural bodybuilder and your goal is building muscle mass, the weight is just a tool that we use in order to reach muscle failure. I see a lot of athletes at the gym, natural athletes, that they think because they're natural, they have to really go crazy on the weight to force their body to grow. And they're benching 3 plates and they're squatting 4 or 5 plates and they're deadlifting heavy weights, but it's not gonna do much for you. Because if your goal is building muscle, you gotta get that muscle to failure instead of just focusing on moving the weight from A to B. Remember, we're bodybuilders, we're trying to put muscle mass on, and the goal is getting those muscles to failure and keeping that good mind-muscle connection, the time under tension. It's not just about moving the weight from A to B. It's not gonna do much for you, but rather stop focusing too much on the weight. The weight is important, but don't let it be your only focus. All right, don't just think about hitting a PR, but rather think about getting your chest to failure. All right, and making sure that you're engaging your chest properly and you're maximizing your time under tension, your mind-muscle connection, and you're feeling your muscles working. You gotta feel those muscles, all right? So maybe the way you're training and approaching your workout can be optimized. Number 5 is changing programs too often, all right? This is something that I see with young lifters. Every couple weeks, they wanna change programs. Some people, every workout, they're changing stuff. All right, so one day they're doing the back squat, one day the front squat, one day they're doing this, one day that, because they think that you gotta keep changing, keep changing, keep changing. Well, change is good, but if you keep changing it, you don't let your body adapt and get comfortable in one exercise and then progressively overload on it, you will always be in that phase where you're changing, you're new to a plan, and you gotta adapt to it, and you will never be able to kind of go up, because every time you're progressing on your back squat and now you're starting to add weight and you feel good and you're starting to have a good mind-muscle connection, well, you just change it and next time is a front squat. So you got to readapt to it. Just saying, don't change programs every single week or 2 weeks. If you want to change programs, at least give yourself 2 to 3 months. All right, the order of the exercises can change. That's something I spoke about in another video, but you don't need to be changing programs every single time. It's like me going from a coach to another coach to another coach. You don't follow one plan and make sure to progress on it. Change is good, but don't overdo it. Now, number 6, recovery. You're neglecting recovery. If you're not sleeping at least 7 hours a night, if you're not, I don't know, if you have a physical job, those are all things that gotta be considered. All right, if you have a physical job and you're basically doing cardio at work every single day for 8 hours, well, your training has to be different, your calories intake has to be different. If you're barely sleeping at night, it's not gonna help you. Especially as a natural, your sleep is so important, it's crucial. It's like charging your phone, all right? Same thing, you charge your phone every night. Why don't you go charge yourself also by sleeping enough? That's where you recover, that's where you grow, that's where your muscles grow. And trust me, it makes a huge difference. I've been not sleeping well the past week and I feel it. It's insane. I've been having coffee after coffee and I'm still sleepy. I go to the gym, I don't feel like working out. It never happened to me, but now that I'm barely sleeping because I've got a lot going on, well, it's affecting everything in my life, all right? So make sure you sleep. Someone that is enhanced can get away with 2-3 hours of sleep, partying all night, waking up, barely eating, and going to the gym, and boom, he's got a great pump because he's taking PEDs, he's got all those help, but you gotta make sure you're on top of every single thing, all right? Number 7, and lastly, is your supplements. So supplements are a supplement, and they can help you a good 5%, all right? If you've done everything I spoke about, that's why I kept supplement at the end. Let's say you've done everything I spoke about. Your training is perfect, your diet is perfect, your recovery is perfect, you're killing it at the gym. Now, taking supplements can help. So, what supplements I would recommend? Creatine. I love creatine. Creatine monohydrate, it really helps, especially if your goal is, well, building muscle mass or getting shredded. It's a really powerful supplement. Protein powder. If you're not getting enough protein, it could also help. Vitamin D. If you're someone that is in Canada like myself who don't get enough sun, vitamin D can really help you. Magnesium, really hard to get from food. All right, so make sure that basically you have all the vitamins and minerals that your body needs, and you can use supplements to help you get a little 5% extra. Some people love taking pre-workouts. I do love taking pre-workouts because it forces me to kind of get myself to the gym and kill it at the gym. And also it's a placebo effect. Some people like taking BCAAs or EAAs for the placebo effect. Electrolytes are good. Fat burners can be good if your body fat percentage is low. Well, supplements, I'm just mentioning them now because if you've done everything else, well, now you can start kind of look into supplements and use them to benefit you. All right. So if you're someone asking yourself if you reach your natural plateau, natural limits, natural peak physique, well, I'm pretty sure you haven't. You can still progress. I can still progress. I really believe that your body can still progress naturally even after years and decades of training. Yes, the progression is not as fast. It's not as fast as when you started training, but it's still there and it's enough to keep us going. All right. Make sure to optimize everything I said. Supplements can be helpful. And also make sure to subscribe. This will help you gain a good 2% progress and 2 inches on your arms. I'm just kidding. Thank you very much, guys, for watching till the end. Watch this next video that is on the screen. I'm pretty sure you'll love it.